Renee Bays,
Rakim John,
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 Renee Bays.
Anyway, welcome to Podcast of Color, where four trash bags of color come together and make some sense of this world. I'm Bays.
I'm Renee.
I'm John.
And I'm the baddest bitch, Trina. And welcome to our show.
Do you back it up like a dump truck?
What?
Like Miss Trina?
You say dump like a trunk? Dump
No,
like a
back
trunk?
it up.
like
Back
a
it
dump
up like a
truck.
dump truck.
Oh, sorry. I heard. Sorry, you faded out a little bit, and I was like, "That's Cisco, sis."
Anyways, what is the question of color?
Go.
The question.
Question.
Fashion.
The question.
At this point, if we're just gonna be like, "What's the for the week?" The question this week is going to be, what is your favorite and or most memorable ANTM, the iconic America's Next Top Model, favorite moment and or photo shoot? So,
Shall I go first?
of course, Bass.
You sound ready.
Thank you. Yes, okay, so this is actually, well, it was a commercial shoot, I think. So
Oh,
it wasn't, I
damn
guess it
it.
can't be like my favorite shoot, but my favorite thing is when Jade is like walking in, she's like,
I just took mine.
hi, how are you?
Wait, that's very you. That's a very Bays
It
moment.
is me. It's very me. That's literally how I walk into parties. I just like walk in and like just wave it in people's general directions, and then I just sashay through the room, and then I leave. I don't even stay to enjoy the party. I just leave.
I just love the commentary that Mr. J was giving. He was just like, "She's a drag queen," and I was just like,
She's a drag queen.
like, did y'all? I don't know if this is problematic, but did y'all find her pretty? Because I kind of didn't. I just thought
Yeah. I thought
Oh,
she was
she's
cute.
really pretty.
Yeah,
I
I
think
thought she was gorgeous.
her photo shoots turned out really good, but her personality really sucked, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, isn't she like? I think TMZ interviewed her like years ago, and she looked like she was like not in the best place. And I was
Oh,
like,
no.
Wait, no. Yeah, I saw that where she's like on the street and she's drunk and they're like, "You're still really gorgeous." And she was like, "Thank you." And she was like modeling as she was saying it.
Yes, that's
I
very
think she's
so
great.
kind of dapper.
I think she's great.
being drunk
Anyway.
on the street and modeling for a TMZ reporter. That is very mean. Go off, Jade. I'm here for this. Oh my god. Okay, John, what's yours?
Well, I was gonna say Jade's CoverGirl commercial, but Bass stole it.
Well, it's not about what you was gonna say. It's about what you're gonna say now.
Yeah, we're talking about
don't
now.
live in the past.
We're talking about now. When we left the garage in my car, you see all the big ass cars in my garage. We're talking about now.
Oh no.
What is that?
It's from
No.
Nene.
From what?
From Nene from Housewives.
Oh, okay, got you.
I was gonna say when Tyra had asked the model, she said,
Oh my god, if you say mine, I'm gonna be so mad. Go.
she said, is your pregnancy more important than your modeling career? And I'm just like, fuck, Tyra. Actually,
she didn't.
when Instagram had those polls, I posted it as my question, and everyone was like, no.
That, I mean, yeah, it really wouldn't be for me. Well, let me not say that.
Did she really ask that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Who did she ask them? What season?
I forgot what season. I just remember that, like, that question that clip going around.
Oh my god. Renee, what's yours?
So mine was they're interviewing this girl, and they're like, "So you have a fear of something?" When they're interviewing her, like, you know, the panel, and like, "What do you have a fear of?" And she's like, "I can't date white men," and they go, "Why?" And then she's like, "I'm really scared of white penises because they look like minced meat."
What?
And then like Jay's like on the side. You just see Jay on the side, like Miss J going crazy, like ah, like she's like she's flipping out. she's like, I know it's really bad. I just can't date white men.
I low-key
that was
remember
probably my
that.
favorite. You never saw that?
No, I never seen
Oh my
that.
god.
I think it was during the auditions.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god, those are always my favorite because you just get all the fucking craziness. Okay, so I have a few. I'm gonna be really quick though. Okay, so like one of my favorites, my favorite photo shoot is the iconic shot where Eva and Yaya and all the other bitches had the spider like on their face with the tarantula.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And then Yaya had the, I mean, y'all can't see me because this is an audio show, but when Yaya's like this, and then Eva has the spider like this, and then she was like freaking out.
Like,
but
she's making a spider out of her hand.
Yes.
Like, fingers. Yes.
Oh shit, that's what she was doing. Bitch.
You're so smart, bitch.
Oh,
I'm a
bitch,
smart
you
bitch.
shaking the table. Okay. That, and then also the moment where that same season 3 was everything, where there was that like guest judge and she was like that white lady, and then Yaya comes out and they had to like pick the different hats, and there was like that African hat, and then the white lady goes, "Oh, I'm surprised that you didn't pick out that hat." And Yaya's like, "See, that's why I didn't pick that hat, because I knew you would think that I was going to pick that hat, but I didn't pick that hat because it's a very cheap African cloth and I'm better." And the white lady was like, "Well, you need to check your attitude." And then at the end of the episode, she's like, "Okay, but you don't come and talk about my heritage." And Tyra like dragged Yaya for that, but looking back, she's right. And she was like, this white lady was like, "I thought you were going to pick this African hat." And she's like, "You thought I was going to pick that because I'm black." And I was like, go the fuck off. Then there was also the moment where they had to like run up the stairs, and then like it was like 20 flights of stairs, and then once they get up, there was like an impromptu photo shoot and they didn't know, and they all looked like trash and were throwing up. Oh, sorry. I can go on forever. I
Tyra really tortured those girls. My second favorite moment is where she just like passed out in front of all the girls.
That's
They were
what
like,
I
"Oh my
was
god, Tyra, what's wrong?"
John, yeah.
And she was
like,
Acting was amazing.
that was so
How
weak.
did her career,
That was so
like
weak.
acting career, not take off after that? I'm surprised.
Oh my god. Or when she
Yes,
had
we need a life size too. Okay.
No one's
Like,
gonna say the Tiffany
We need a
question?
sequel.
Be quiet, Tiffany.
That was my runner-up.
But
See,
that's like a standard. Everyone,
yeah, we have to what's
Sorry,
the word
that's
I'm looking
mainstream.
for? Come on, Base, help me out. We have to you have the vocab with the clout. We have
Yes,
to
clout.
What's the word I'm looking for? Defy expectation, but synonyms
I think we know what you mean.
yeah,
Defy
damn.
expectations.
It's gonna fucking bother me. But
I
anyway.
had that moment early. You know, look, words sometimes they just don't. It's like I've been thinking about that too. Like I was like, because there was a point where I was gonna go to Taiwan and teach English,
Oh.
and I was like, I remember being really nervous about it because I was like, bitch, I barely know how to speak English.
Right.
Like, how would teach somebody else?
Yeah.
You just gotta stay one step ahead of the lesson group.
Yeah,
I don't
English is
mean
so
this in a
hard.
bad way, but like you're kind of impatient, so I don't know if that would
Yeah,
be.
that's true too. That's true too.
I used to be
But I
an
would've figured it out.
an English tutor in college, and like a lot of the ESL students would like
used to be in ESL.
me too.
Wait,
But
Oh.
in college, a lot of the ESL students would like correct me or like would be like, "Oh, but you're not following this rule or whatever," and then I just realized like, "Oh fuck!" Like I like just grew up with this shit. Like I didn't like follow these rules or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's a lot harder to be a tutor than like
Mm.
people think.
Mhm.
especially because English, it's like I am Confucian. Like,
Why is this
Kansas,
Kansas?
Kansas,
But this is
and
not
not
Kansas.
Kansas.
I'm not gonna explain. Okay, so that's gonna be that. We'll be back with minutes of color. Bye.
Trash, 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 trash.
Yes.
Come on. Let him use you. Come on.
Let him use you.
Come on, brother. Yes. Okay, brother Bass. Deacon Bass. Come on.
Yes, Lord. Hallelujah.
Whew.
So Mr. Ryan Coogler
Lord.
just took us to church on today because we just saw the
The
Black
spirit-
Panther trailer.
Hashtag we are Wakanda.
Also,
Because-
welcome to the Minister of Color. Let me not forget that. Yes. I mean, visuals, the cinematography, beautiful gowns.
Cinematography.
Beautiful.
Bassett.
My boo, Michael
Yes,
B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan giving you dreads as they're supposed to be on a black person's head. Giving you.
Hold on, hold on, Baze. Sorry, I just want to address something Renee just said. He said, "My boo, Michael B. Jordan," and I just want to know where you got that idea from. That's all.
I sure did say that.
Yeah, but why would you lie?
Because they met up at 24.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. Anyways,
They have 24-hour in Wakanda.
he had I love that they gave. I love like how like African this felt like not just black but like African and like he had the what they purposely in some African cultures they purposely give themselves not welts, what do they fucking call it, keloids. They purposely keloid themselves, give themselves keloids.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that like all over his body. Oh my god! I mean, there's black women in this that are darker than a paper bag. I'm just,
Just like the action sequences.
Miss Angela Bassett.
It's about to be lit.
Miss Angela Bassett has just. We don't deserve her, and I'm just glad that she is finally getting, a role as the queen that she is, basically.
She's about to come in to do what she's about to do. Oh my god! I'm not.
You don't think she was a good voodoo
I think
queen?
she was a great voodoo queen. I don't think that
She should have played a voodoo
Yeah.
queen.
No, it's not even that. It's how dare you even bring that up? Like, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. Kidding. But Ryan Murphy didn't deserve her, and that show was garbage, and he didn't do her right in that show. So he underutilized the fuck out of her. The only person he knew how to really use was Jessica Lange.
Mm.
And
Okay,
even
low
then-
key, I really liked Coven, so
Coven. The first half of Coven was excellent. The latter half was not.
Mm. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
This is just
I just remember when they introed her character to begin with, when she comes through that hair salon. With
so
her,
much
like,
promise. But you know what? That's the past,
Yeah.
and right now she's the queen in Wakanda. Okay.
We're talking about
right now.
right now.
And right now
That's the
she's
theme of
queen-
this episode.
She's the queen of Wakanda.
In February is the Aquarius
Mm.
time. So
Why would you
we're
just
excited for Black
ruin?
Panther.
Damn, we were excited.
So
We
anyway,
talking about wow.
The former POTUS and FLOTUS have announced the artists that are going to be doing their portraits, their official portraits. One, Amy Sherald and Kehinde Wiley, who is an amazing artist. I'm not familiar with Amy Sherald, but she does have this beautiful piece called Welfare Queen, which you guys should check out. But Kehinde Wiley, his pieces are like in museums all over the country, and he does a lot of like portraits of black men like dressed like the hood, just like niggas, but then he gives them like these soft backgrounds. He has them like riding horses and with like petals of rose petals flowing all around them, and he has like black people like in like classic European poses with like the classic European backgrounds that you would see in like, I don't know, like
Renaissance.
a Renaissance painting. And his work is just so beautiful, and like I pretty much every museum that I've been in, I've seen his work there. And so like and this is also the first time that we're getting black artists doing the official portraits of the
Like
first
black,
lady and
black,
president.
black.
That's historical, whatever. So I just,
I love
shout
how
out to
Baze
them.
low key like throws in these little bougie moments. He's like, because every museum that I've been to, because I've been to several, they've all had his work.
I've been to the museum several times.
I've been to the Met. I've been to the museums in Nice.
I didn't go to the
I'm
museum in
traveled.
Nice. I just partied in Nice.
You can't even spell museum.
But
I actually struck. Never mind.
the museum in Boston, the like the main one, the name is escaped. It's Museum of Boston or something of that nature. That one is really awesome, and they have a lot of his work there too. And also, like, so one of my favorite artists is John Singer Sargent, which is really sad because he just basically paints white people. But I just really love that period that he was painting in, because a lot of the clothing is just really beautiful, and that's always been like a big thing for me is like the costumes and the clothing. And at the time it wasn't costumes because that was how they actually dressed. But anyway,
he's really popular in the gay community because he's kind of like homoerotic, right?
I don't know. I have to.
No, his artwork. Like, I know that a lot of gay dudes liked him.
Well, damn, now I'm a stereotype.
That you'd be really good at painting.
I'm not. Well, actually, I've never tried, so maybe I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like you. I don't know. My gut tells me, my Olivia Pope gut. Maybe not. Oh, maybe not season 7 Olivia, but my season 1 Olivia gut tells me that you'd be good at painting.
Thank you. Maybe I'll try it out. So Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie says
we teach girls.
We teach gays. We teach hunties.
we teach gays to shrink themselves.
We teach blacks
to fleet their asses
to make themselves
cleaner.
bigger.
We tell gays.
We tell them, use your BBC.
Oh,
fuck those tight white
no.
But she says that basically the left is eating its own. Her opinion is
we
that
teach bottoms to be competitors, not for tops, which could be a good thing.
That the left is responsible for its own decline, because there's, I guess, this purity test is what she's saying, and it feels like instead of like the thing about the right is that they can unite on a specific thing, and then and then they stick together, whereas we pick each other apart for not being perfect. And I don't totally agree, but I don't totally disagree, to be honest. Because I think
agree, but I think it came from the wrong person. I think she said it because she was not attacked. She was called out, and I think she felt bitter. Like, what she was saying isn't particularly incorrect in my opinion, but it's how she said it and why she said it, which is the thing that people were side-eyeing her for, because it was more so like she said that after she got called out. But I do think that there's this really, to me, toxic thing where people have to, like, people aren't allowed to fuck up, and by fuck up I think it's a very subjective term in terms of what that means, but I think if people make small fuck ups, people do kind of get crucified for it. But I think she said it because she felt that she was crucified for something, and she was kind of like responding to that.
What did she say that you agreed with?
What did she say that I agree with her point?
Yeah.
I do think that sometimes, and I don't want to necessarily say the left, but I do think that there is like this.
Oh no! I thought you meant that what she was attacked for.
Oh no! Oh no! Because because she was talking. No, the thing she was attacked for, or not attacked. The thing that she was called out for was when she was talking about the trans women. So I don't agree with that. I agree with her point that there is like this weird purity test. But I think that she's saying that to excuse the fact of what she said instead of learning the lesson. Okay. Like, that's why I'm saying it's not what she's saying. It's why she's saying it. Like, if someone else completely said what she said, I would be like, oh, okay.
Somebody with no controversies attached to them, or at least
correct.
Enough of a distance.
She's saying it because she's bitter because she had to educate herself about trans women and their experience. That's what I'm saying. Renee was looking at me like, who are you?
I saw him, like, he picked up the mic and started putting it real close. He was like, excuse me, is this mic on?
He's like, look, I'm gonna call in right now, sis, because I care. What the fuck?
But I mean, yeah, so there's this thing, and like maybe we can make this a discourse at some point, but yeah, there's this thing where it's just like we don't want to police absolutely everybody's like, I was actually just talking about this recently, and like how like policing everyone's like fuck ups like all the time can kind of inhibit like growth, and like can inhibit evolution as far as like how they learn or like what they pick up, because you start to think like you start to internalize that shit, which is stupid, which is like, but like the human response is to be like, oh, I'm a horrible person, like I'm probably not going to pick up on this shit anyway, so let me just not do it. But another thing is, yeah, like people not holding themselves accountable when they're fucking up. So it's just like this weird like in between. It's like, let's not police people to the point of like where they feel like they shouldn't learn or they don't want to learn, or that they're not going to learn at all, or that they're not going to grow. But also like we also shouldn't not like call people out when they fuck up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know who Francesca Ramsey is? Like,
yeah, I almost stepped on her dog.
Okay, so
last week or a couple weeks ago,
you stepped on her dog.
I almost stepped on her dog. My friend lives by her, and like her dog's really small.
Fuck?
It was an accident. It was small, but it was actually her fault. It was her dog's fault, and she apologized for the dog.
Oh my god.
What?
Policing dogs.
Anyway, but I didn't realize it was her until after we had walked by.
The reason I bring her up is because she said something that I thought was really great, and that she talked about the difference between calling out and calling in.
Yes,
and
I was
like,
just gonna say that.
Yeah, and so I think that sometimes it's appropriate to call in and say, hey, like, I'm just telling you this because this is what you said, and this maybe isn't the best thing to say. It's almost so like when we first started the show, I was fucking terrified to say anything. And I remember like I would go on Tumblr and like look at the notes of the people who were reblogging and like look at the SoundCloud comments to be sure that no one was like, saying shit, because I think that there is this really bad kind of like climate that we're
Call out culture.
Yeah. Well, I don't think call out culture in and of itself is problematic. I just think it's become, I don't want to say problematic. It's just become a point where like, if the point of social justice isn't people correcting their mistakes and learning from them, then I don't think that that's then it loses the purpose. And I think a lot of times it's become really performative when people go, who can I drag? Who can I do this? And I don't really fuck with that.
It's become kind of like an ego thing of just like, oh, I want to show everyone that I'm like more like in tune and informed about this than you are. And like, let me like make a spectacle of me shaming you for not being there.
Everyone's trying to be like woker than now. And I just, instead of helping somebody learn, call them in instead of trying to drag them in front of people all the time.
It's complicated too, though, because like I also, you know what, this needs to be a discourse.
Okay.
There was an article. I'm just gonna say really quickly. There was an article that came out, I think yesterday, and it says like why I'm now scared of most of my social activist friends or something like that. And it goes into some of that. Yeah. So. But yeah,
I read that.
This is super complicated, and we should probably talk about it.
I agree.
So, moving on. One Harvey Weinstein has been kicked out of the Academy Association or whatever that is. And he, not he, but people are like, well, but Bill Cosby and Roman Polanski are still in the Academy. So like, and then also you've offered it multiple times. Woody Allen, actually, the only reason Woody Allen isn't in it is because he turned it down, and he's been offered to be a part of the Academy for years, multiple times. So it's just like very clear that these people don't give a fuck about why they're actually firing him. They're just firing him because it's the attention is there and people are like demanding that it be done.
It's like bad publicity.
I was really disappointed. So there's like a whole bunch of different stories here that I'm trying to like rush through that all have to pretty much do with this. So Ben Affleck got called out too for groping women. Steven Seagal has gotten called out now for doing the same thing that Harvey Weinstein was doing. What's his name? Something Stone, director. Is it Oliver Stone? Oliver Stone has been accused as well.
Fuck.
Like, it's like shit is going down.
I remember Jennifer Lopez talking about, so one of my favorite movies ever is a pretty fucked up movie is U-Turn. I don't know if y'all saw it.
I thought you were going to say it.
I remember Jennifer But I remember Jennifer Lopez coming out afterwards and being like, saying that she felt kind of like she was fucked. Because she was told by Oliver Stone at first, like, you're not gonna have nude scenes. It'll be fine. Like, you're good. And then last minute, like right before shooting, was like, oh, actually, you're gonna need to be nude for this, and like felt like she was lied to. And that like, fuck, this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fucking.
I was really disappointed because, and I won't read his statement here because I'd rather not. I guess back in 2011 at a panel for Game of Thrones, Jason Momoa made a joke about sexual assault and how much he enjoyed doing it on the show. Apparently, he then, after this happened, apologized. Has again apologized for this comment, and it seems, I know, like, it seems that he is not, putting this off, blaming anyone else for it, or like he's just genuinely, like, apologizing. And yeah, so, I mean, I was really disappointed because, like, Jason Momoa is bae. But he is, it seems like he's aware of what he did and why it wasn't okay. And yeah.
So wait. So that happened in 2011?
2011, yeah.
How did that? Wait. So did someone find it?
It just came back out,
or it just came back out?
It's one of those things where, like, this is the climate right now. Everyone's talking about this, and so like it came back up, and people are like, okay, so like now we're like, we want to hold everybody responsible, and that's why this came back up.
No, that makes sense because I remember thinking, like, why is Game of Thrones doing panels right now? Okay, that makes much more sense.
And
but yeah,
I can't find this. There's a Twitter thread talking about the ways in which he's the things that he's done since then to like bring awareness.
Yeah, I've heard he's done a shit.
Yeah,
ton, actually,
so I don't, and I cannot find the tweet, but yeah. So I mean,
also about your Academy point, I wanted to point out also that not only are the like Bill Cosby and other people still in the Academy, they gave the fucking Oscar to Casey Affleck.
Yes, last year. Yeah,
last year.
Yeah.
So like, the Academy needs to do fucking better because it's like it's crazy to me how, I mean, men in general, but specifically straight men, just like how fucked up they are. Like when it comes to this, like I don't know what else to say. It's just like men are trash. Like honestly, women, if you want to kill all of us and just eradicate the male population, like sis, go right ahead. I mean,
so.
Sis, go.
Yeah, Woody Allen said, he was asked about what his thoughts were on the situation, and he said that he said
Why?
Like why?
He said, I hope.
Why are we asking him?
Well, duh. Like, when I think of like a person whose opinions I want to hear on sexual assault, I definitely want to hear from like, at least in my top 5 is definitely Woody Allen, and I think like the only person behind him, in front of him, would probably be Roman Polanski, because you definitely want to hear what they have to say about this.
He's being sarcastic.
I'm being sarcastic. Yes.
Listen, no, you have to. You have to. Someone will take this off of SoundCloud, and like you have to be sure.
Woody Allen said that he is sad that this happened, but that he hopes this doesn't turn into a witch hunt, which is funny because he knows that he would be the next one in line. That's really what it comes down to. And then he was like, he said something like, I've just never heard anything. Like, nobody's ever come to me with this. And I'm just like, well, I wonder why nobody has come to you, Woody Allen, to share their harrowing story. Like, could you imagine, like, being in that situation and being like, oh my God, I have to tell Woody Allen? Like, what? Like, again, like,
that's like,
that's and he's like, I'm just too busy working, is what he said, to be involved in all of that and to care about all of that. And it's just like, girl, I think your time is coming. I really do. I think that we're dealing with, I don't know that this is going to end this in Hollywood. I don't think that that's what's going to happen, but I definitely think that a lot of people who have been whispered about and the public is aware of, I think their time is coming. And
It's funny because I had heard stuff about Ben Affleck for like years.
I hadn't.
Yeah, so it's just like all these like, it's like kind of, and Courtney Love, I don't know if you saw the interview with Courtney Love, where they asked her like, what are you going to tell young women that want to join Hollywood? And she said, if Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party at this hotel, like, don't go. And like, so all this shit, the thing is like, and maybe we'll touch on this in the discourse, but a lot of this stuff was like known, but just like everyone was like kind of keeping it under wraps. And like Kate Winslet, who was just like, fuck Harvey Weinstein, like this is horrible, blah, blah, blah. But she's like working with Woody Allen and is saying like, oh well, let's just not think about it and it's work, so let's just do our work.
And that's also go ahead.
I was just saying that's really heartbreaking for me because y'all know, if y'all don't know, Titanic, I was about to say Harry Potter, but Harry Potter too, but Titanic is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I like stand Kate Winslet for years. We
did it on the show.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry. But I have a horrible memory. So I stand her for years, and it's just like, girl, you're literally like a month ago did a whole thing about how you had, like you said, she was like, yes, I've heard the things about Roman Polanski. Yes, I've heard the things about Woody Allen, but you get to a point where you have to just put that aside. And I've had great working experiences with both of them. And then to come out about Harvey Weinstein, or Weinstein, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but one of those is the correct answer. And to condemn him and say that, oh, you're like so disgusted and blah, 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 blah. It's just like how do you, like, I just
reconcile
don't,
that.
How?
Paychecks?
Yeah.
Paychecks.
And it's just sad because you like, I mean, and you shouldn't, but you like valorize these people and then, you know, they're...
And it's also really interesting seeing this whole thing go down, especially considering what happened with Kesha and Dr. Luke. And like, and I'm wondering when the music industry's turn is going to happen, because it's just like, I remember when this whole thing with Kesha was going down, like, I don't remember like this outpouring of just like, fuck Dr. Luke happening. And like, he still produced a ton of people's albums and people still work with him and whatever. And it's just kind of like, a lot of this really, really feels like hollow. Like a lot of like this, like outcry against, like, I feel like what's going to happen is people are going to rally against Harvey Weinstein, and then they're going to like shut the fuck up, and they're going to be like, he was like the martyr for it, and then they're like, see, I did my little spiel, so now I have to be, you know, and I'm hoping that something happens, and I don't want to say I hope people keep sharing their stories, but I hope that like, you know, that people don't let it slip away, and that people like seize up this opportunity. Like, it's just, and when you look at every single industry, especially the entertainment industry, it's across all boards. Like, there was actually a Twitter thread about this model agent was anonymously taking DMs on Instagram from models who were like experienced like situations with like photographers
Cameron
and stuff.
Russell.
And I remember, thank you. And I remember reading one of them that said something like, this photographer asked this model to like take pictures of him, like, or take pictures with him, like while he was masturbating or something like that.
Oh my God.
I just quickly wanted to say, because this pisses me off, because I used to work in that industry. Like, to any person that listens that is in that industry or wants to be in that industry, please just say no, like, and leave, like, and if they try to just leave, like, and I'm sorry that you get put in those situations. I'm sorry that there are creepy ass photographers like Terry Richardson that do shit like that and get famous for it. I'm sorry that you have to see that. I'm sorry that there are people that will threaten to take away your career. Get the fuck out. Don't let people treat you like that. And I'm not saying that you're letting them, but like, just get out of that situation as quick and as fast as you can, because those people are fucking creeps. And try to speak out if you can. I don't know. Just don't stay in situations where you feel uncomfortable, and you don't have to do anything that you do not want to do. I know people will make you feel like that, but you don't have to. And that's important that you hear that from someone, because I remember when I was photographing people, like when I was photographing girls that were like 17 and that, like I remember I had to photograph someone that I thought was 17 and I found out she was 14, and I was so fucking uncomfortable like doing that shoot, and it was weird as fuck. And it was just like, and then you have stage moms that like allow their daughters to do stuff like that. It's just like, in every industry you have shit like that, so just be careful.
So Rose McGowan. I don't know why white women can't just let us like stand them in peace. Why can't you just like keep it together so we can just love and support you?
Because they don't. They're
so
wait. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm so confused. Did she do something bad?
James Corden. I don't know if you guys heard. James Corden did a joke at some Hollywood event, about Harvey Weinstein, and it didn't go over well.
Is that the carpool guy?
Yeah.
This is the same guy that took a picture with kissing Sean Spicer at the not the Oscars. Is it the Oscars?
It was the Golden
Emmys.
Globes.
No,
Emmys.
The Emmys, yeah. I just feel like the British, like, they just, like, give us their garbage. Like, first it was Piers Morgan, now it's James Corden. He made a joke about this. Rose McGowan went on Twitter and said, "Now replace women with the N-word." Yeah.
What?
I'm just like,
girl,
why do y'all gotta be like this? Like, it was bad enough. People were angry enough at him. You could have just left it alone, and you had to go there.
You should have just sat there and ate your food. Like,
why do you always have to compare it? Why can't it just be a thing in and of itself? You don't have to compare everything to being black. And especially, here's why this is such a big issue, is when you compare things to, like, oh, well, you wouldn't do this if it was a black person. People do. People do this to black people.
Right.
They do.
Right.
They do say nigger.
You're assuming that, like, like horrible shit doesn't happen to black folks. Like, this would never happen. It's like, it does.
You're making it a hypothetical when it's a reality. Like, Charlottesville didn't just happen. Like,
also, like, more, like, on a more base level, there are these things called black women. And they exist too, so they might be getting both of it. So maybe those identities intersect for some people. So maybe they hear that plus the N-word, and like maybe they're the people that are always having to clean up after your white ass messes all the time, and have like I can't even imagine having to like always choose between like your gender and then your fucking race, and then you're criticized for each. Like, when what is it, like 90% of them voted for Hillary or something like that? Like, they came out and they rep y'all, and what did you guys do? Tell them to be at the back of the suffrage movement, girl.
And see, my thing is, and this is why, like, because we get like a very base taste of it as like men of color who are also gay. Like, I can't even begin to imagine what it is to be like a woman and have to deal with like being in these two communities that don't give a fuck about you. But anyway,
and you got to deal with your colon. Like, girl, it's a lot.
Shut up, you're so dumb.
Oh my colon.
And it coincides.
Where's your gut? Where's your gut?
Huh?
What?
No,
nothing. Keep going.
It coincided with the hashtag women boycott Twitter situation.
Did you say colon-sided? Bitch, go off.
You're dumb.
Sorry.
So, Rose McGowan was kicked off of Twitter for, I guess she posted someone's personal information in one of her tweets. And so she was kicked off for that. And people have shown examples of other people having posted personal information and not getting banned. Or not banned, but like suspended. And so it became this thing, and a lot of white women were like, let's do this boycott. Well, not just white women, but a lot of people were like, let's do this boycott Twitter thing. And a lot of black women were like, a lot of women of color in general, but especially black women were just like, no, thank you. That's not going to work for me, sweetie. They were like, I'm not gonna be silenced. Sorry, I'm not gonna silence myself. I have, you know what I mean? Like, I have enough issues being silenced by other people. I'm not gonna silence myself.
Right.
And basically,
And like, I was gonna say really quickly, and the movement that behind Rose McGowan and the amount of people that came to her defense is never the amount of people that are coming for the defense of women of color when like they're like running into issues on Twitter or when they're being harassed by a white supremacist or what have
and
you.
so like people are like, well, where was the support for Jamel Hill? Where was this boycott Twitter for Jamila Lemieux? Where is all this support when? What about when Milo Yipa whatever attacked Leslie Jones? There we go.
Who? Mike Jones. Sorry.
And so it was just like, we're not gonna like sacrifice our voice for a movement. One, just because that's not smart for us. Like, it's just not going to work for us. And two, because y'all wouldn't do that for us. And so it just goes back into the whole, like, feminism is solidarity for white women, basically. And I mean, it turned into a like really supportive hashtag with women of color, like retweeting each other and like supporting each other and uplifting each other. And it was a great, beautiful thing. And of course, a lot of white women were not pleased by it, but listen, y'all are gonna be all right. So, Sophie Turner, aka Sansa Stock, is engaged to Joe Jonas. How do y'all feel about this? Do y'all care?
Keep it.
I like personally just think that, I don't know why, but like,
who?
I just
And
think
who?
that Sophie Turner could do better.
Oh, sis, hold on. What we're not going to do, you're not going to shade the queen. That's what you won't do.
I don't.
Queen of acting.
Oh, these people exist? No, I honestly don't know who these people are.
It's Google. Is
I'm
you just-
offended.
No, but I don't care though.
Okay.
That's the thing.
So anyway, Rakeem.
Oh.
Yes.
So I just feel like Sophie could do better. I just feel she could do better.
Like, I just, like, girl, have you seen
Hunger
yourself?
I mean,
And Joe Jonas?
It's not even like a looks, because I actually find Joe Jonas attractive. My
No.
thing is, just I don't know. I don't know.
gay.
I don't know him, so I don't know.
Oh, wait, he's not
But
gay?
she's only
what I thought.
21
Gay.
too. So I'm just like, girl, you
What?
Yeah, she's only 21. So I'm just
No,
like,
he's
girl.
he's gay.
He's 28.
No, because
She said six.
I've heard some weird shit about Joe Jonas and that. So I've heard that he's tried to,
It's a
I've
call
heard
for
when he
help.
was 19, he tried to date a 13-year-old. What the fuck? Lower it?
His shoe says sis.
Oh,
Sis.
Wow.
It's a call for help.
He's like, girl, help me. I don't want to get married. I want to marry a man.
Like,
wait,
I don't know.
Are we speculating
like,
about
sis,
people's
help me out.
sexualities
Don't say that,
now?
though.
I'm just joking.
No,
I
maybe we
just-
don't. But no, the rumor. I always thought the rumor on the Mill, however the
Mill?
fuck you say that,
We're in the middle. Rumor,
Oh,
was
the
that
Mill. I thought
was
you
that
said
he
the
was
male. Like I thought you were calling him the male.
Yes.
No.
Humanize him.
I, always
Yes.
thought that, I was hearing that he was a homosexual, but I guess
Oh,
not.
I don't know.
Oh, good for.
I
guess.
just
You sound disappointed there that he's not gay.
Oh, okay. I believe it. I believe it.
He also is the one that dated Taylor Swift or whatever.
and broke up
like-
with her via text.
Oh.
He broke up with her over text.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking
A
of,
smart
okay,
bitch.
so yesterday, my 10-year-old cousin was visiting my house, and she started singing "Look What You Made Me Do," and I said, "Girl, stop!" And she literally kept going up to me and going, "The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now," and I was like, "Not on my watch, not in my house." like, stop! Like,
Let her live. Let her enjoy herself.
I didn't have a talk with her mama.
Yes, so Eminem's freestyle, he did a freestyle, and of course, the white world was gagged. Simply gagged. Keith Olbermann came out, and he was just gagged. He was like, this is the first time in 27 years that I've ever listened to hip-hop. I love it. Oh my god. You know what? I've been listening to all these niggers rapping, but it's just something about this Caucasian. My brethren. There's just something about it.
I liked it.
I thought it was fine.
Oh,
I didn't. I wasn't.
I enjoyed
wasn't. I thought it was fine. I thought what he said was fine. I liked that he told his fans to fuck off if they supported Trump. It was more than most people, artists do.
And they were like,
Yeah,
"Oh, he's just playing.
true.
He don't mean that." Like,
Bay crazy. You know Bay crazy.
he played too much.
He be playing
Does he
too
have
much.
a lot of fans left?
What?
Does he have a lot of fans left anyway?
Yeah.
I don't know anyone
Yes.
who like stands for Eminem.
Okay, let me give you an example. The dude that does all those political videos for GQ, he saw that and he said, I can't think of his name right now, but who cares? Because he said, "Oh, I've been iffy on rap for 20-something years, but Eminem just now made me a fan."
Yeah.
Of course, he's white. So yes, there were a lot.
That is the.
I mean,
That is the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds about
That's your-
white. That was
I don't know.
about the whitest thing I've
Sounds
ever
about
heard.
white.
But I will say this. I've been like unimpressed by the whole thing, and it's obviously like this is a white dude, and obviously white people don't hear anything anybody says unless it's coming out of a white person's mouth.
yeah.
But also on the other hand, I'm just like, and also it's just like the basic thing. It's like fuck Trump. Like everybody hates Trump. Like that's not like a radical statement
Right.
to make. Everybody hates
Right.
Trump except for like his cult following. But it also, on the other hand, is like I do appreciate white people using their voices because
yeah.
that is necessary because again, white people only listen to other white people. So when a white person speaks up, I
Yeah.
think that there is a value in that.
Actually, as soon as I asked if he has any white fans left, any fans left, I thought about like angry white guys who like stand for him. So-
Who didn't Earl Sweatshirt say? If you still listen to Eminem, you drink too much Mountain Dew and you need to come back from the army or something like that.
Oh my
Probably.
god! That's so sad.
So Renee, you had a thing that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So in September, there was a Lebanese band with an openly gay frontman performing in Egypt, and the audience raised a rainbow flag, which resulted in the arresting of about 59 people. These people have been in jail and have been abused, have been bullied, physically abused, sexually abused, and they're basically like some of them are gonna have almost like a scarlet letter for the rest of their lives in Egypt because in Egypt they're doing this or in the jails, that specific jail, I guess, they're doing a specific test which is like kind of a test of how quote unquote loose you are. They're examining them rectally, and if they think that you're too loose, you're basically going to be classified as gay.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and that goes on your record, and every like potential employer is gonna know, and like you're not gonna be able to serve for the military anymore. One of the women that was arrested apparently has been sexually assaulted multiple times, and like they had let like some of the other people out of their cells to like help beat her. So it's pretty horrible. So they're doing a protest Wednesday, I believe. Hold on, let me pull this up really quick. And they're going to go to multiple embassies. If you go to Facebook, you look up protest and solidarity with Egyptian LGBTQI. There's going to be October 18th to October 21st. There's going to be multiple protests to call attention to this because it seems to be like not making it really widely in the news. So they want to put if they like call attention to it, there's more pressure for them to like release and like stop treating these folks horribly. So
Is there a link that we can link to, Renee, about it?
Yeah, so there's
I'll make a note of it to link in the...
Yeah, and then there's also the person I was speaking to about this was Marina Iskander, marinaIskander.com, and then also she works for the Swana Alliance, and it would, you could contact either her or go ahead and look up this event on Facebook for more info.
Perfect. Thank you, Renee. As a treat for you, because I know that you're gonna love this. Let's talk about Azealia Banks' new movie.
I'm leaving.
I honestly don't. It looks.
Doesn't it look like Oscar?
I don't know. It doesn't. The thing is, okay, y'all can talk about this first, and then I'll do it.
Oh, I don't. It's just a movie about a girl who's like a female rapper, which actually I'm kind of here for because, look, how many movies do we get with?
After that white girl rapper movie.
How many movies
and
do
8
we
Mile?
get about black women rapping?
That's true.
We don't get them.
Yeah.
So I'm
Nicki
here for
Minaj
this.
did a documentary on MTV. That's enough for me.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Well, I'm here for this. Is it Lionsgate? I'm here for this Lionsgate piece. Common is going to be in it. Who else is in this movie? There's like a shit ton of people in this goddamn movie. But and her edges are laid.
And it's directed by RZA.
I really would have expected a movie like this to be like low budget, but it's like the cinematography again is there.
That was shade.
I really would have like for somebody to be putting Azealia Banks in the movie. I really would have expected it to be low budget, but
That is
They
shade.
giving her a real life movie. They got Jill Scott is in it.
I think.
It's directed by
Yeah,
RZA.
yeah.
Yeah. What were we gonna say? Renee?
Maybe it is RZA. No, I just think like I think it was gonna have a little bit of a more of a push around the time that they were filming it, and I think maybe just with like all the controversies and stuff, it's been kind of become less of an investment. So,
well, maybe it'll be
I mean, I hope it's good. It looks like it could be really corny, but also like we do need a story like that. And obviously, I love Azealia.
Lucien Lavis counts is gonna be her man in the movie. He cute. I don't actually find him attractive because he just looks too perfect looking to me. But like he literally looks like a light skinned black Ken doll. So I can't really like find him attractive. But like theoretically, I get it. And so like
Right.
go ahead and get your Ken doll Barbie, black Barbie.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not a Barbie, huh? That's Nicki Minaj.
And I feel like Azealia is a decent actress.
She's a great singer.
I feel like
That's all I know. And I was listening to her older shit, and it's problematic as fuck. But it's also what? It's also
for sure.
Like, oh my god, bop after bop after bop, and I'm just like, girl, when you gonna get it together? When you gonna get it together so I can
problematic
when you gonna
bops
get it together so I can stand for you, sis? When you gonna let me stand for you?
Boplamatic.
Anyway, Larry Wilmore and Viola Davis are doing a show called Black Don't Crack, and apparently it's gonna be like the Black Golden Girls, which again, I'm always here for a good Golden Girls.
Black don't crack, but my edges do. Bitch,
Yes.
I cannot
It's gonna be
wait. Everything Viola Davis touches is just like success.
Oh.
Success.
It's gonna be on ABC.
So trailers, so many trailers. We already talked about Black Panther, but Pacific Rim Uprising, that trailer just was dropped last week.
I didn't see that.
And you didn't see it, girl? Okay, so John Boyega is fine as fuck, and he got him a new fade. I've just been into John Boyega ever since Attack the Block. If you guys have not seen Attack the Block, you should see it.
Yes,
It's so good. It's about some niggas in the hood in London fighting aliens, and it's just awesome. It's not something it's not something I've seen anything like it before, and I have not seen anything like it since.
I'm surprised that movie hasn't gotten bigger.
I want to see it.
It has a cult following. We should do. Well, I was gonna be like, we should do a movie night, but
We should.
let me say.
But-
I actually found a ticket to a round trip ticket for like $300. So like, assuming I
We
get
can
this,
put you on Skype.
assuming this interview,
Baby, come back.
assuming this interview works out,
You can blame it
Um,
on me.
What? Oh yes. So Princess Nokia threw hot soup on some white racist dude who apparently has a history of this because there was another video of him getting pushed off of a train before. It sounds like he has like
always.
It sounds like he has this thing where he likes to get beat up. Like he likes being abused, and so he
a
purposely
masochist.
goes out
That's
into
his kink.
public and says like racist things to people. But I just thought it was really funny that it
Intentionally.
ended up being Princess Nokia because I'd seen the video before I knew it was her, and then she was like, "That's right, I threw the hot soup on him." And I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. That's so great.
What else? Stranger Things and How to Get Away. Scandal and Stranger Things was a trailer. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Wars trailer both came out in the past week. The Star Wars trailer, again, John Boyega Like,
The trailer to end all trailers.
all these nigga movies, I'm ready.
Right? It's the second
Base
nigga
pride.
renaissance. We're here.
The nigga songs.
I said-
The nigga songs.
The
Yes,
nigga
nigga
songs.
songs.
Nigga songs.
Nigga songs. Or SZA would say the nigga songs.
Nigga songs.
Nigga songs.
Me and my friends.
I hate your
me
French
and my
laugh
friends-
base.
Me and my friends were like joking if like SZA covered Beyonce. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I'm sorry. Nigga, no.
Oh my god. Hold up. You ain't love me like I love you. Slow
My-
down.
My daddy want me about me like you. He
Baby.
said, baby, go.
Like you.
Oh, you guys. SZA.
Flawless.
All night long. All night long.
The needed me
Oh
sting
my
still.
Oh my god, okay, I need to.
I was a savage. Fuck your white horse in a carriage.
Oh my god. I love SZA.
Yeah.
I got read.
This is here at Podcast of Color. We stand legends and SZA.
We stand
So
SZA's
Renee
accent.
has left.
Oh my god, the funniest part about it is that she doesn't talk like that in real life.
At all.
At all.
Where did it come from?
But she get on stage and she, okay, ladies, now let's get information.
When you play me, you play yourself.
She almost sounds
nigga.
like it's like nigga, nigga. What's up, my nigga?
Oh.
Okay, let me stop. Anyway, Stranger Things trailer looks really good. Miss 11 don't need a wig no more. She got her own hair now.
I know.
I haven't seen it. Why didn't I know
I was
that
so
came
excited when I saw the Eggos.
Yes. I don't know how she living on Eggo. She gonna get like high blood pressure or something.
And diabetes.
out? Lego my ego.
Diabetes.
Sorry, I'll stop.
Do you guys think the sales of Eggos went...
Sorry.
What did you say? What did he say? What did he say?
Lego my ego.
Lego my ego. You are dumb. I hate you so fucking much. Oh, okay, so How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal. Well,
Okay, babes, what do you think of the new Olivia?
I'm just glad that she's not on that pink dick no more. But now she might be back on it, as we saw at the end of the episode. And I'm not here for it.
America, explain.
What? Oh, explain pink dick.
No, we wanted you to explain this contour tattoo
I made a
go-go
list of
boy
things
law
for
firm
this.
daddy.
So this is about How to Get Away with Murder. So I was standing for Miss Murderer. Well, she didn't murder anybody, but the girl with the facial tattoos and How to Get Away with Murder.
Wait, I haven't seen it.
Oh, girl.
I only saw Scandal this week because I was at the...
I won't say anything spoilery, but I'll just these are not plot points. I'm just saying, like, homegirl with the tattoos. You gonna see it? She has like
Tattoos
a
on
tattoo.
your face?
She has like it's a guy. I need to stop calling him she. But he has tattoos. He's like a gangster. He's like a Latinx gangster, a former gangster. And he has facial tattoos, and one of his two of his tattoos are like
we're
are
listening.
like contour, like they like are along his jawline. I mean his cheekbones.
Oh.
And so it's like he like has pronounced cheekbones already, but then he has like his little tattoo contour, like permanent
How do you
makeup. I was
pronounce
like,
that?
yes, it's stunt. Oh, stunt.
Yes.
Stunting. Simply stunting.
Stunting. Sorry.
Stunting.
And I was gonna say law firm daddy, but you don't know who that is yet because it's the law firm that Michaela is interning at, right?
Yes.
There's this daddy, this like older, like light skinned black dude with like a beard, a salt and pepper beard, and he's bald headed and he looks so
I just have a question. Is Laurel still being annoying as fuck?
Yes, she's always girl. When is Laurel not being annoying? That is her. That is
Like-
literally her character arc is to be annoying.
God, she annoys the shit out of me, girl.
To
Like,
get away with being
no
annoying.
one like stop blaming people for
Oh,
West,
girl.
nigga. Like
You go- oh,
you.
Look, you about to see. Okay, and also the Go-Go Boy thing was okay. So there's a scene where they're at the gay club in How to Get Away with Murder.
Go ahead. Phone's ringing. Keep going.
Oh, there's a scene in How to Get Away with Murder where they're at the gay club, and like of course like all the Go-Go Boys are white as always, and it was just I just thought maybe you guys had seen it, and I hope that you guys had seen it because it was just such a like prime example of like what white gay boys, white Gayggo,
Leggo my Gayggo.
Leggo my Gayggo. You guys are fucking me up. It's just a prime example of what like white go-go boys get away with. Like this dude was just like he was like on his what?
Keep going.
He was just
Gayggo
it was
boys.
just horrible dancing. He was dancing to Mi Gente, and it was horrible. It was like I mean, it was just like he was always like a second late to the beat. Not even a second. He was a couple minutes
a white
late
guy
to
dancing
the beat.
to Mi Gente?
And it just was like it was just a prime example, and it just cracked me up because I was like, that's literally how white go-go boys dance at gay bars. So it was like very #realistic, #relatable content.
I'm here for the nonfiction.
So yeah, but I just thought that was really funny because you know you go to the clubs, you be in the club with the fam.
And you tip the Gayggo boys.
You see the Gayggo boys, and like the white Gayggo boys are over here trying to body roll, but not really being successful at it. But it doesn't matter because they have abs. But then the black Go-Go boys are over here like doing the splits and pop locking and dropping and handstands and wall twerking and all kinds of other stunts and shows.
I would like to give a shout out to the go-go dancer at Blow who has like that 20-inch
Oh yes,
weave,
and this girl
but is like super like muscular and always wears his lashes and high heels and like just the most beautiful. I would like to aspire to be.
You would like to aspire.
Them
I would like to aspire
someday.
to be like you.
My aspirations in life are
To be you.
to be the Gayggo.
Aim higher.
So yeah, I guess
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. I guess that's gonna cover minutes of color, and so we will be right back with the discourse.
No, Renee has to do it because he didn't do it last week.
Okay.
No, what discourse?
What discourse?
What discourse? Wait, do your French laugh one more time before we
Leggo my Gayggo.
Bye.
Hello, mi amores. Wait, no, that's Spanish.
That's not.
Okay. I forgot how to say my last name.
J'adore.
Okay, sorry. Let me be serious about this right now. So, today for the discourse, we're going to be talking about our experiences with sexual assault. I think for me, I kind of pushed for us talking about this today because reading Terry Cruz's tweets really kind of brought some things up for me, and it made me think about things that I kind of had pushed aside and not really like made a big deal about because I just kind of took them for granted. Not took them for granted, but I took them to be a regular thing that it just happens. But yeah, like just I mean, all of the people talking about their stuff has just definitely been like triggering memories and yeah, I just thought we could talk about that. So I guess the question is, how have you guys dealt with it, be it from your own experiences or through things that you've witnessed, and how do you and or can we all combat a culture that normalizes sexual assault?
So before we get into it, I mean, I think it's fair just to add like a trigger warning in. So we are going to be talking about situations that might be kind of deep or just triggering for people. So if you don't want to hear the conversation, I will timestamp in the description as to when you can skip to, so that way you can just go to the male of color section, and then that way you don't have to hear it. So if that's something that that's a lot for you, then we'll be considerate of that. So sorry.
So
who wants to go first? Or maybe not want, but should I go first?
yes, please.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just gonna talk about two things. Three. I've mentioned both of these on the show before, but I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail about both of them. And I'll just kind of start out. I guess I'll do like the heaviest first, and then I'll work my way down. I've had 2 or 3 experiences with people, doing things that I did not want them to do. The first one was when I was in college, and there was someone who I was messing around with, and the long story short is they pinned me to a bed and tried to like penetrate me when I kept saying no, and that went on for around a minute of me saying no, and I was being like held down when that was happening, and I yelled to like stop, and the person thought it was really funny, and I just remember being really fucking terrified after that. And I managed to like get them off of me, and I remember I like ran to the bathroom and I started hyperventilating. And we were going to hang out after that, and I remember we did because I didn't know how to react, and I ended up going to a movie, and I remember being there, and the whole time in the movie just like feeling disgusting and feeling like I was like impure or something. I don't know. I just felt gross, and I didn't feel like I don't know. I didn't feel myself. And so after the movie was over, that person, we didn't hang out after that. And I talked to a therapist about it, and I like kind of processed like what that means, and I'm able to talk about it without it being like this, without me being overwhelmed. But it was just it was the first time something like that happened, and I was like, what the fuck? The second thing was this was a very small, quick thing that happened, but I've mentioned it a few times where I was in West Hollywood, and I was walking down the street, and I was drunk, and I made eye contact with someone because that's what you do when you walk down the fucking street and it's full of people. And it was an older white guy around like 60 or so, and he took me looking at him as permission to shove his tongue down my throat, which I did not agree to. And luckily my friend was there and like pushed him off of me because it happened so fast. I was just like, what the fuck happened? And I just remember after that also feeling like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand. So I say all that to say that I just wanted to talk about kind of this culture where a lot of gay men do this, where they don't understand the concept of like personal space, and just walking up to someone and doing that, or even going to a bar and like grabbing someone's ass, or like going and like feeling on them, or like running your like putting your fingers in your shirt, or like rubbing on someone's nipples or something or whatever. That's not okay. Like, I did not explicitly tell you to do that. I didn't give you permission to do that. And there is at no point should you ever touch anyone in any kind of way without, or put your hands on someone without them giving you permission to do so. And I think it's so fucking normalized. Like, you see it all the time. Like, when you go to like different bars around LA and like different cities, like you see it all the time where like people will walk in or like slap your ass, or like, you know, rub their hand on your shoulder or something like that. And it happens across all races, all ages, like, and it's trash. And I just want to tell people to do better. Like, if you do that, stop fucking doing that, because it's assaulting people. And not not everyone likes that. I don't know why you assume someone is going to like that. Just don't do it. So that's kind of really all I have to say. I just don't really like that the culture is kind of like uplifted or like upheld like by people's actions and how people act like it's not a big deal, or it's like hitting on someone and it's not hitting on someone. Like, I can only imagine what women go through. So just, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to just echo what you were saying, because I think it is really normalized when I've seen friends or I've heard friends talk about like, oh, I was walking through a gay bar and this guy just like grabbed my ass. And then I've heard responses like, well, what do you expect? You're at a gay bar. And to me, that response is like kind of invalidating that person's experience and what they had felt. And so it's like, it's adding on to the normalization that it is okay to just like assault somebody.
And it's minimalizing it, because it's like, I'm not dressing up for you. I'm dressing up for me. Like, I don't put this on thinking, it actually doesn't even fucking matter. But it's just more so like, I want to look good for me, not for you. That doesn't give you permission to automatically sit there and like, it's like when people send you nudes without you asking too, like that shit's annoying too. Like, I don't understand where the concept of consent is blurry for people, but unless someone tells you, I am okay with you doing this, then you need to not fucking do it. I don't care how horny you are. I don't care how long it's been. I don't care how much you think the person wants it. I don't even care if they fucking flirted with you all night. If they don't tell you yes, you don't need to fucking do it, or you should not do it, period. And then there was something on Twitter where someone said something like, oh God, I can't remember what it was, but someone said, oh, like you shouldn't, like, it was like with Usher or someone, like, oh, I don't get why they would need to sexually assault someone. And it's like, no one needs to sexually assault someone. I don't care if you think someone is good looking or whatever, or if people think that person's good looking and they go, oh, well, like, you should be whatever. They're cute. Like, it'll be fine. And it's like, no, that's gross. I don't care if I'm attracted to the person, if I'm not attracted to the person. Like, if you do that, that's fucked up, period.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's a specific look to an assailant. It's just like all kinds of people presenting all different kinds of ways.
Yeah.
Baze, do you want to say something?
Oh, no, I'm just...
Oh.
Do you want to go next, John?
Well, I'm not going to... I guess I don't have a lot of... I didn't really know, I guess, at the time how to define sexual assault. Like Rakeem was saying, sometimes when I go through bars, I would have like people touch me, sort of like they would touch me in places, you know, like and grab my ass or grab my dick while I'm walking through a bar. But like, I don't know, I always kind of brushed it off because I thought this is like normal for being in this space.
Right. You just expect, because like that's the culture that you expect, like, okay.
Right. And exactly. And it's just like, oh, well, it's a compliment, or I just think you're good looking. And I'm just like, well, you don't have to grab me. And I, you know, at the time I just kind of brushed it off. And then I guess that's part of the problem, is that like I should have been more vocal, because I didn't know that like that was sexual assault.
I wouldn't pin it on you though. I wouldn't, yeah.
Right.
I think it's just kind of something that's allowed and has become like,
yeah,
you know, normalized to the point of just like, it's not, for a lot of us, it's not shocking, and we don't even know that it's fucked up.
Yeah, I wish that someone like older, or not even necessarily older, but someone else in the community, you know, aside from us for in this conversation, would have told me like, hey, this like walking, you know, because we don't have a lot of role models growing up, so no one tells us like this is what's going to happen. And so when you walk in there, it's just like, oh, this is normal. Like no one told me that wasn't okay, you know.
Right.
everyone's like, because I mean, it's everything in the bar is like very hypersexualized. They're playing gay porn. There's go-go dancers, so it's just like all these sexual things are just sort of normal, you know. But
And actually,
when you take
go ahead. Sorry.
backtrack, it's no. I'm just saying when you backtrack and look at it, you're like, wait a minute, that's pretty fucked up.
I actually remember when I first came out, I wanted people to do that to me. Like, I remember thinking, like,
Yes.
oh, I wanted someone to grab my ass or whatever because it was validating.
Right.
Like, I remember thinking,
Yeah.
oh, if someone does that, then, like, it'll mean that I'm attractive and people,
Oh my
like, will
God.
want that to happen. And then when someone did do it, I was like, oh, like, it was so
Right.
grimy. So I was just like, oh. And then I realized how
That's so
fucked
funny
up
you say
that
that.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that too when like I'd walk through spaces with like my other friends and I'd get kind of jealous seeing how like people how they walk through spaces and people were just like so attracted to them and like just make moves without any permission and like watching how my friends react. I was like, man, I want that to happen to me. Like I want to be objectified. I want to be treated like that. Like I want someone to like think of me as sexy. But then I like afterwards I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait, that's fucked up. Like they're not looking at them like a person.
Right. Because a lot of the times, like, I think people equates sexual capital, and we've talked about it, sexual capital
Mm-hmm.
with what do you call it? Social status and that
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, all right, everybody. So, we had to stop recording for a quick second. So, we're gonna continue on with our points. And I think, John, you were saying, kind of how about like you didn't know. Oh, wait, yeah. How about like you didn't know certain things were.
Right. So I think we were talking about how in the gay community specifically, how it's sort of normalized when that making sexual advances are sort of normal. And I mean, like when men are walking through a bar or whoever is walking through a bar and someone gets grabbed, it's sort of looked at like, you know, like, well, you're at a gay bar. It's sort of expected.
Oh, right. And then I was saying that actually, we were saying that we actually liked that or like wanted
Right.
that at the beginning. Because like we were saying, that's what we were saying. Because sexual capital
Yeah.
almost is kind of like social status sometimes, or it's like,
Yeah.
or it's like,
Or just like people are valued more, you know? And
value more. Yeah. Self-esteem.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would say, you know, earlier on when I didn't really know a lot, or I don't want to say know better, but when I didn't really know what was happening, like I'd see my friends walk through spaces and, you know, they're just like, I noticed they get admiration from all these people and they get grabbed or like people say things to them. And I, you know, I would sort of be in the background and like, man, I wish like people would treat me like that, you know? And then, but when it actually happened, my mind had changed quickly because it's like actually not the kind of attention I wanted. And I didn't actually know like that was a form of sexual assault. Is people like grabbing me and without my permission. So.
Right. And it was very much like for me, I wanted people to grab me, and then I wanted a lot of white guys to give me attention because those were the ways that no, for real, because it's like those were the ways that you, or at least when I first came out, those were the ways that I was taught or that I observed that, you know, that you had value.
Yeah.
So I think on a deeper level, though, it goes to the problem of like I want to be valued and I want someone to like care about me, and so like. That's why I thought that, you know, it would be amazing for someone to, like, grope me or whatever.
Right.
Because I confused that with, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I confused objectification with being valued. Like, you know, like, people, to walk through a bar and there's, like, hardcore gay porn playing in the background and there's go-go dancers and I would see where, like, these eyes would go towards or I would see where the attention was and I sort of wanted that, but then I realized like they don't. That's not the real attention. Like I wanted to be valued and not just saw it as a like a piece of ass or a dick.
Baze, what about you?
This is actually like a little bit of a tougher conversation than I expected it to be.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I knew it would be tough. I just didn't expect it to be this tough. I think it's like more of the same of what you guys have been talking about, is just being groped. And like the thing about it too is that like I always just thought brush it off as an annoyance, because you know I can pretty much just expect when I go to a club or a bar, especially if it's not like a black one, because I've never, so you said that, and this is true, people who assault people come in all colors, ages.
Right.
But my personal experience has mostly been with white men, and usually over like the age of 30. And so like when I'm in clubs and like bars or whatever, like that's been my experience is having them groping me. And so I guess I always made it smaller in my mind. Like it just, like you said, it's just so normalized, and it's considered such a, it's like par for the course. Like if you go to a gay club, like of course you consent to people grabbing your body.
Yeah, it's like business as usual.
Yeah, and so I guess I thought that's annoying, and it made me uncomfortable, but it made me really uncomfortable. Like it made me extremely uncomfortable, and I would get really upset when it would happen, but then I would just brush it off because, you know, that's just normal. And I think like reading Terry Cruz's tweets were like, wow, like that's sexual assault. Like that's not just like a normal okay thing that people should be doing to you. And I think at the time, before this other incident that I'm about to go into, I guess I thought like maybe if these guys were attractive, I wouldn't mind so much. And I used to actually say that. I'd be like, oh god, like it's always the guys you're not attracted to. Like maybe if an attractive guy like groped you, you would love it. And so I remember I was actually visiting here in New York. I think it was back in 2015. And I was at this store, and I was trying on clothes with my boyfriend and another person. Oh, yeah, it was another one of our friends. And I came out of the dressing room, and there was like this very like attractive, like brown, like I'm pretty sure he was Latino, and he was handsome, and like I thought he was attractive, and he kept like looking at me, and I just was like, oh okay, like whatever, and like I thought it was cute or whatever. And then my boyfriend and our friend went to the front of the store, and I was still in the back, and he was trying on things too, and he came over to me and was like, oh, that fits you very well. And I was like, oh, thank you. And like he like was doing this thing where he was like talking to me, but he was also like touching me at the same time. Like he was like he was like pretending to like adjust because it was like a shirt, but it was a really long shirt, and he was like pretending to adjust it. And as he was pretending to adjust it, he like grabbed felt up my arms and like grabbed my chest, and like I was uncomfortable, but I was like, okay, like whatever, like this is weird. But then he grabbed my crotch, and
What?
I like didn't know how to react. I froze because he was talking to me like nothing was happening. Like he was just talking to me like it was just like we were just having a conversation, two strangers having a conversation. And it confused me because I just was like, I was just like, I guess this is what people like this do, is they do that to confuse you, so you don't know how to react, and you don't have a bad reaction initially. Like you don't like say fuck off, because I didn't like, it was such a weird moment, because I think it was the most traumatizing for me because it was not expected. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least when you go to the club, like, you like, know it's gonna happen at some point. But, like,
Right.
I was just, like, at a store. I was at a boutique in, I think it was in the East Village. And it just, I don't know. I, like, started shaking, and it was just crazy because I was like, why am I reacting like this? This is nothing. This is just, like, this happens all the time. Like, this is fine. And it just, like, I I was like, we have to get out of here. And like Mark and like our friend came back to the back of the store, and I like told them what happened, and I was just like, I need to get out of here. So we left, and again, it was something that I was like shaking for like a while after that, because it just really like made me really uncomfortable, and I didn't know how to like verbalize it, or really like I didn't know why. And I was like, it's not like, because I think when I think of sexual assault, I've always, I guess, thought of it more as like rape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's
And
different
so,
forms.
Yeah, and so like I was like, that's not something I've ever experienced. So like, this is nothing like that. So this is like not that big of a deal, and I should just get over it.
Right.
Wow, like I'm shaking right now, and it's weird. It's really weird,
Guys.
like
Sorry,
how
Baze.
uncomfortable this is, because it's there's still a part of me that's like, this is not a big deal. Like, why are you reacting like this? You know what I mean? Like, it's just still like, what is wrong with you? Why is this upsetting to you? And it's like, even in little things. So I've never really been like a touchy person. I just never have been. And I've opened up a lot, like in the last couple of years, especially being with Mark, because he's a very touchy person. And so like I've like become more of a touchy person, and then like especially like having you guys, like we're super touchy with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm like,
Sorry.
no, it's fine with us.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's been like an adjustment is that I've met people through you guys, and then I met other people through them, and I'm like realizing how much boundary is like an issue for a lot of gay men. Like, they don't understand boundaries. And I'm realizing like, and so like I'm, frequently, and not frequently, but I'm like, from time to time I'm in spaces with friends of friends, or friends of friends of friends, and they get really comfortable and they start touching me, and I'm just like, and it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, and it's like, if you have that relationship, then it's one thing, but like touching my arms, or touching my chest, or like touching my butt, and I'm just like, it makes me uncomfortable, but I don't feel, even to this day, like if it happened today, I wouldn't say anything, because I don't feel comfortable making a big deal about it.
Right.
Because yes, this is my body, and like, nobody can touch it if I don't want them to touch it, or nobody should touch it if I don't want them to touch it. But at the same time, like, touching is such like a thing, I guess, with gay men, that I don't know how to like say not to do that without making it like awkward. Yeah. And I guess that's what it comes down to, is like prioritizing other people's feelings over like your own well-being is hard. And I think it's also just hard because I'm Black, so like I'm also, I also have to deal with that aspect of it, where I'm like sexualized in a way because I'm a Black guy, and then also being used to not being able to prioritize my own like mental well-being over other people's feelings, because I've been raised around people who don't. I've grown up around people who made it a thing if I didn't value their feelings over my own safety. So it's that's just been my thing with it, is the touching in clubs, but also not just the touching in clubs, but the touching at events with friends, going out to the bar and one of your friends grabs you by the butt. Like, it's not, I don't know. It's just really uncomfortable. And like, I still haven't figured out how to like vocalize that I'm not comfortable with it. So
no, I think what you said earlier was really telling when you say about boundaries, and like I had to learn the hard way, even with things like, it doesn't even have to be sexual or perceived as initially sexual. Like, I know, like with you guys, or even some friends, I am a hugger, and I come up to people and I hug, and like, I think one of my friends had told me like, hey, some people aren't really comfortable with hugging initially, and you should probably be more aware of that. And I didn't even that never even crossed my mind. Yeah. So like now I like totally ask for permission now if I can do that, because I didn't realize how triggering that could be, especially for like someone who's my stature, who like comes off across like I'm sort of like I'm taller and I'm bigger, and so I think for some people that's triggering because their previous experiences with someone who looks like me is sort of, they're not good ones. And so I like you were saying, it doesn't even have to be sexual. Sometimes it's just like we don't know, some people don't know their boundaries, and so they just think it's normal. So I think a takeaway would be just to like be more aware of how you're coming across to folks, and like sort of you need a relationship, or you need to build a relationship, or even like just flat out get permission before you decide to do something like that.
Yeah, John, I remember when you had that conversation with me, and you were just like, does it bother you that I do that? And I was like, what the fuck? No, like, it's not a big deal. And like, it makes complete sense, because for some people, like, that is, I never even thought about it like that, so I'm kind of sitting here mind blown. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, really recently, two of my coworkers look exactly the same from behind, but one of them I hug with all the time, and so I just came up, like, we hug all the time, me and my coworker, and so I came up behind who I thought was my coworker and gave her a hug, and then as soon as I realized it wasn't her, I was like mortified, because the other person was like sort of in shock, and I was like, I am so sorry, like I thought you were someone else. And so, and like the look on her face, and it was like legit. I mean, I would feel really shocked and scared too if some person just came up from behind and hugged me. So like, I don't know, just to be more aware of that.
I've kind of had to learn about that. I'm like a super affectionate, and especially physically affectionate person. And y'all know this by now, but yeah, I've totally had to learn, like, oh wait, like not everybody, like for me, I'm just like, oh, I'm being sweet with like my friends or whatever, but like not everybody, sees it that way. And, so I've had to like learn to like be like, oh wait, some people aren't into that, or that's not how everyone shows their affection. And that also could be for somebody, associated with something fucked up. So yeah. But yeah, I was also going to talk about the culture. Baze, I don't, are you finished? Or
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I was also going to talk about the culture and how it's just like a lot of things that I see now that are fucked up, I always thought were normal. And there were some things that I even partook in that I was telling Rakim that I was just like, oh, like this is like how like we all interact with each other. And then now I'm looking back, I'm like, oh wait, like this is actually like really fucked up. But like I do a thing that I have found a lot is like when a lot of times, and not even just when you're in bed with somebody, but like in general, like a lot of gay men don't understand even when you say no. Like they don't understand the concept of like, that's no, I don't want that. And like as like I've had interest, not maybe like fucked up experiences with a lot of people that consider themselves tops, because when I'm like, no, I don't do that, like they like keep going at it like I'm like teasing, or like I'm like playing hard to get,
because it's become a fantasy to do that. And so some people think like, oh, they're actually saying no when they really mean yes.
Right.
And it's just like they're buying into this whole thing of like, oh, like I'm like this rough, muscular, like dude, like it's like you're like really into it, but
actually want it.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I'm just like, no, trust me, I know, like no, like, and like my legs are down there, so you'll get a swift kick to the face if like you don't like
okay,
move the fuck out of my way. But yeah, and I think that, and that's something that like for a lot of people is okay. Like they're like, oh, like you're just saying no because like we're just playing. Like this is like a game, and like this shit is not a game.
Also, Renee, too. Sorry, not to cut you off, but like I like you. What you just said, it made me realize how often you see that in porn too.
Right.
Like I've seen so many times like the word like rape come up in porn so many times, or like you see videos of like people like being like really rough with them, like and like throwing them on the bed and like dominating them like in a way that's like not comfortable to look at,
right?
Or
even just manipulation.
Yeah,
like these fantasies of like, oh, I won't tell your or I won't tell your mom that, like a stepdad being like, I won't tell your mom that you were watching this if you like come into the bed with. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
it's gross.
So it's just like all these things that are considered like hot and like taboo and like weird in our culture, like is kind of like
people are like blurring the lines of like porn. Like they think because it's porn, like that's what people want in real life.
Yeah, and I just remember like one of the, not one of the first, but like a one time in high school, like this dude that had a crush on me like for a really long time. We're like at some point like I ended up together like alone, like and I remember him backing me up against the wall, and he was like touching me. He's like, "Oh, you want this?" I was like, I absolutely don't." And he kept laughing. He was like, "Why are you playing hard?" And like he kept touching me. I was like, "Yo," I almost said his name. I was like, "If you don't fucking back up, I swear to God, I'm gonna like, I'll do something." Like, and he just like kept laughing, and it was just like, it's fucking. The thing is that these people don't know. Like they feel like, oh, like you really want it. You're like, it's just, but, or like, you know, you're a gay guy, you want another dick, or you're a woman, you want a dick inside you. You assume like, oh, you're attracted to these people, so like you want it. There's no way you wouldn't want it. And it's just like, no, trust me. If I don't fucking want it, like it's absolutely terrifying when someone like continues to like do what they're doing. Like it's like absolutely helpless feeling. So.
And it's even like, oh, like, you know, you'll like it or whatever and stuff like that. And it's like, no, the reason I'm saying no is because I don't want this to happen. Like, I don't understand why that's such a, sorry.
And the thing is with me is I'm a very sexual being. And I'm, my friend calls me, Activia because I'm very active.
Oh my God.
But the thing is like, I choose who I'm comfortable with being like active with and who I want to be active with. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm out here like, okay, well, just everybody just like, you know, do what you want to. No, like it's just like I'm very like I will choose and who I'm comfortable with, and I will vet somebody because I don't want to end up in bed with someone who like could potentially do something harmful.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because there are a lot of people that that are very sexually active, and just because they're sexually active or post pictures online or whatever does not mean that you have the right to just go up to them and touch them and do all that kind of shit. Like that's gross.
I was gonna say too, like you guys were like spot on with the whole like people projecting like their porn fantasies onto reality. I just remember. Like, a few years ago, I read one story, and then recently I read this other story. But a few years ago, I had read a story about, what's his name? Mike Dozer, who does porn. And he is, like, he's a big, buff, handsome white guy. Like, he's attractive. And he, I guess, was HIV positive, and he, met up with a 14-year-old off of Jacked. And I will not go into details, but the parents like pressed charges against him, and the kid is now HIV positive.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
The response, a lot of the response that I saw to that story was, well, he knew what he was doing. He was 14. You know, when I was 14, I would have loved to have Mike Dozer come over to my house and do that, whatever, to me. And it was just like all these projections of like
porn
who
fantasies. You
would be. And it's a thing that's frequent. I see a lot with like, especially when female teachers abuse male students, is there's this projection of like porn fantasies or like your adult fantasies onto your younger self. Like people saying, well, you know, if the babysitter had tried to touch me when I was 12, I would have loved it. And it's just like, well, you might not have. It could just be that you're projecting a fantasy that you have now onto your 12-year-old self.
Right.
And you're saying that you want these things because you want them now. Like, that doesn't mean that that's what you would have been down for at that age.
Right.
And just
Yeah,
because you were
younger.
old. Yeah, and the thing is, the reason that minors are not allowed to drink, the reason that minors are not allowed to drive, the reason that minors are not allowed to vote or do anything is because their brains have not fully developed, which means they don't make the best decisions. They don't do things always that are logical and smart. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't. Teenagers are impulsive. In fact, our brains don't stop growing until we're 24, 25. And so when people do things like this, it's up to the adult to make the intelligent, logical decision to not do these things. It's not up to the kid. It's not up, like, if a kid goes on Jack and tries to hook up with somebody, that's not on. I mean, they shouldn't be doing that, but it's not on them. It's on the adults that are knowingly having sex with these children, or assaulting these children.
Yeah.
And so there was that story, and then more recently there was a story about a porn performer who does the party and play thing, where he like goes to like orgies and like does like drugs and stuff, and he talks about like getting so high that he passed out and then waking up to men taking turns on him.
Oh my god!
And
Shit.
having that that experience, and he might have been down had he been awake for it, but the fact that they took that choice away from him is ultimately what mattered. And again, a lot of the responses, well, like, he does porn and he knew what he was doing when he went to that party. He was going to do that anyway. And it's just like, it's not about what was going to happen. It's about choice.
Yeah.
And when you have somebody take the choice from you, from your body, like, this is not like I don't know, like, I don't even know if I could verbalize how unsafe it makes you feel when somebody can just take your body whenever they want it. And I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not really being, like, I guess coherent, but I don't know.
You are.
No, it makes
It's just
sense. It's not something
frustrating.
that you can that feeling of like powerlessness, and just like utter terror is not something you can really verbalize. So it's fine.
But yeah, so
Are you okay, babe?
Yeah, I'm good. This is a tough topic.
Yeah. Do y'all have anything else that you want to add, or anything that we want to go over, or do we feel okay with?
Well, we
I
could
think-
talk about. Oh, go ahead, Renee.
Oh, sorry. I think also like, and this is something that I forgot to bring up during the bullying episode. Is there's this culture of teach your kids how not to get sexually assaulted or how not to like be bullied or blah blah blah, and like, which is okay, like, great, but like I think the bigger issue at hand is like teach your kids not to sexually assault people.
Yes.
Right.
And it's hard because it's just like, it's not just like, me teaching my kid like is gonna fix everything, because it's like, it's a culture. It's like part of a culture out there. Rape culture is like, it's fucking like ubiquitous. It's everywhere. So it's like, I think just challenging all these notions of just like, oh, well, you wanted it, or like you're playing hard to get, like everything, just like if like more people, like a bigger group of people would like learn to like challenge that, I think eventually there would be an evolution of thought, and there would be things like Harvey Weinstein finally getting called out, which is probably honestly not gonna like fix everything. But I think it's like it's a sign of hopefully a good sign of like it's a starting like things starting to change. But yeah, I would say like again with anything, just like not putting the onus on the people, on the survivors, but putting the onus on like the people that actually taking action and doing this stuff.
To piggyback off of what you said, maybe you might know, but I don't remember the rapper's name. Was it Lil Duval? The one, like there, he was. I remember there was some rapper that said that for his 14-year-old's birthday or something, he like hired
Lil
someone
Boozy.
thank you. To like he hired. I think it was an escort or.
He didn't like go into detail. It was just an Instagram post.
He just said, yeah, he just said,
I'm gonna get a girl for her.
He said
For
he
him.
got a girl for his 14-year-old to give him head. And I was just sitting there like that, like, and was proud of it. And like, to Renee's point is like, when you do shit like that to your children, one, you are traumatizing them. And two, like, you're teaching them that that's okay. Like, that's, like, that's assault. Like, you literally hired someone to assault your kid. Like, and it's just, sorry. I don't even know where I'm going with that.
It's also just interesting for me, like, so many people have talked about, and some of them are horrible people like Lil Wayne and Chris Brown, but they've talked about their experiences as kids with sexual assault. And, like, there's the way that, like, black people are, like, over-sexualized to the point where our assaults are not considered, like, a value because we're so sexual that it really doesn't matter. It's just, I don't know. I don't have the words, but it's just upsetting. And it makes me, I think about in situations like this, I do think about like the women, you know, who didn't get support for, you know, who were assaulted by R. Kelly. You know, I think about the women who didn't get support, who were silenced by Bill Clinton. You know, I think about the women it wasn't popular to believe in. And I hope that, like, going forward, I mean, I have to be optimistic because that's the only way that I can, like, wake up every day and continue to live. But I hope that we can, going forward, believe people when they say that they've been sexually assaulted, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of talk about, like, oh, well, she's just lying. Well, there's like I don't have the number right now, but there's a very small percentage of people who lie about sexual assault. A very small percentage. In fact, being assaulted is people who sorry, I had like a moment.
Right?
It's yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, it's underreported because things don't happen. To rapists. A lot of them, when they do get accused, don't even go to court. And then the ones that do go to court get like a year or two in jail. And it's just like, I really would like for anyone who says that people are just lying, or, well, what if they're lying? Who every time a situation like this comes up, I like you to name one woman whose life was made better by accusing someone of rape. Like, literally, just name one who's, like, living it up right now because she accused somebody of rape. You cannot do it because it doesn't exist. There's you don't get anything out of it. Except for justice, maybe. And that's maybe.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Anyway, what can we do in the future to combat it? I think in the future, sorry, I'm answering my own question first, but I think we can put signs in gay bars to let it be known that this will not be tolerated and that people who do this will be kicked out of the bar or the club.
Yeah.
I think that could be one thing. Just to let people know that, hey, if you say something, then, you know, there's somebody who's going to listen to you and this person is going to be kicked out for doing this.
I think one thing we can do is as simple as this, just talk about it. And I don't mean to say, like, oh, like, when it's happening, it's up to, like, the victim to do it. I just mean, like, have discussions about it, because I think it's kind of an elephant in the room a lot of the times when people, or rather, like, a lot of people feel that way, but feel like if they say something, then they're going to be, like, accused of being a prude or something like that, or, like, oh, you're, like, you know, just suck it up or whatever, or, like, you're ruining the fun or whatever. But I think a lot more people probably do feel like that, but just don't know how to approach it. So maybe, try to create a space where your friends and family can actually feel comfortable, like coming to you and that kind of thing, and just making it known that, that it can be talked about. So, but the sign idea. So
go ahead.
But the sign idea, I was going to say the sign idea is actually a great idea. I didn't even think of something like that. That's amazing.
Another thing is, like Renee said, making the perpetrators responsible, because at the end of the day, there's literally nothing you can do to prevent it. There's people who have been assaulted in their houses, in their bed, in their own bed. There's people that have been assaulted wearing hijabs. Like, there's people who get assaulted no matter what they're fucking wearing, no matter where they are. There's nothing you can do to prevent it except for stopping the people that are doing it.
Yeah, so we need to stop the, like, you were asking for it, like, narrative.
Yes.
Like, for absolutely any kind of situation, because that's fucked up.
What's that lady's name? Malin Balik or whatever, what's her name? The woman who came out and said that she was, like, dressed, like, modestly and, like, basically alluded to the fact that she thinks that these women, like, deserved what they got.
Oh, that's right. The actress from Blossom? Yeah.
Yeah, and she's on that horrible show, that nerd show with, like,
Big Bang Theory.
Yes, that horrible ass, misogynistic ass, racist ass, homophobic ass show. It's a horrible show. But anyway,
for sure.
Yeah, like, you have to, like, this doesn't start with teaching your daughters how to prevent it from happening to them. It starts with you teaching your sons how to not treat women that way, so that your daughters don't have to worry about that. You can't prevent rape by talking to victims. You have to prevent rape by directing your discussions toward the rapist. That's just it. Like, there's literally nothing else you can do other than to, like, make sure that we're prosecuting these people that are doing it, and making sure that we're not stigmatizing people that are coming forward to talk about it. Because there's never a right answer. Every time someone comes forward and says something, well, why did you wait so long? And then if they come out right after it happened, well, you waited until, like, they had a movie out. This happened, like, a month ago. Well, okay, maybe they took time to process it. Why? Well, if you look like this, he could have anybody that he wanted. Why would he do this to you when you look like that? Right. It's just like there's constant scrutiny and you're just regarded with suspicion the minute you say anything about anything. So it's like, I don't know. I think the only way we can really, I guess, prevent this is to stop doing that and turn the scrutiny around towards the people that are the perpetrators, basically.
Yeah. So I guess with that, we'll end the conversation there, and we will move on to male of color, and also, before, really quickly, I just want to say I want to thank the three of you guys for sharing, because I know that it's hard for all of us to talk about this, but I think it's a conversation that probably needed to be had, and I feel I don't want to say grateful, but I feel privileged to be able to hear your stories, and I know there's a lot of people probably listening that are proud of you as well. So I just want to say I'm proud of the three of y'all for having the conversation.
Proud of you too, sis. You shared a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's whatever, it took time, but anyway, we'll move on to male of color, and then we'll see y'all there.
All right.
I was gonna air her, but I didn't know if it was a problem.
I know. I was like, that was the least enthusiastic. We were just like, okay, signing off. Bye.
Hello. Did I do it correctly, Baze?
Wow, you trying to steal my shine, bitch.
I can't steal what was never yours.
Oh, God.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
But so we didn't get no letters in this letters of color, male of color, excuse me,
But
y'all just
we
don't
would
love
like to
us.
do-
You don't love us.
Speak for yourself. So we're just gonna talk about our weeks and kind of like how things went, and there was a few things that we wanted to talk about and that kind of thing. So, who wants to go first?
I do.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Fubu and Cruz. So, the eagle, as we know, or some of us know, is typically a sort of male-centered, white-dominated like space for bearish type men. And so there's the event that happens at the Eagle. It happens every second Wednesday of the month, and it's called Cruise, when female-bodied folks take over the night. And it was really good this time, and and Fubu took over Cruise, so it was a QPOC takeover of the Eagle. And it was a good turnout, and Campaign Proper was there and sold a couple shirts. So shout out to people who came and supported. And I think it's a really cool event. If there's any women out there who want to find other women, there's not a lot of spaces for that. So Cruise is a really good night for that. And then also the Filipino Arts and Cultural event was this past weekend. So that was cool. It got to showcase a lot of my culture that I'm super proud of, and that I don't really get to see.
The Bamboo Benga.
The Bamboo Benga is also called the Tinikling, where we have people, basically you dance to a rhythm, and there's these bamboo sticks that you try to avoid getting your foot caught in.
I saw that.
Yeah,
on your Instagram story.
If you're dancing on rhythm, and if you can keep the counts in, you will avoid that. But anyway, so that was, and there's a lot of Filipino food, and there's like poets and a lot of Filipino designers showing their clothes, our cultural garbs, and so I thought that was it made me proud, and I don't get to see that often in LA, so it's one of the festivals I look forward to.
There's also going to be like an Filipino film festival or something?
So there's an event coming called Freddy Itlong Day, and a lot of people don't know, during the unionization of farmers, and like that was brought by Cesar Chavez. Like, a lot of people don't know that he was working really close with Freddy Itlong, who sort of brought about the justice for laborers, and so that day is coming up October 28th, and yeah, so there's that.
Also, really quickly, I want to shout out to the listeners that approached us at the party at the Eagle.
Yeah. There were some listeners at the party who appreciated our conversations around toxic masculinity. So thank you shout out to them.
Yeah.
It was Elliot and Avery.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys.
Oh my God, I actually want to name one of my kids Avery. I love that name.
That's a cool name.
John, when I saw the video of the dance, it reminded me immediately of like when I was younger and I used to like double dutch in school.
Yeah.
Like a lot of black people would like double dutch. Like I was just like, oh, culture is beautiful.
Yes.
It was just so good.
Made me so happy.
They had that in the debut. Right?
Yes, they did.
Also, Renee, you need to be John's manager, because you were like, also, you're missing this, and on this date, this is happening. This is happening there. So I have a few things too. So I want to say first, thank you to Big Dipper and Meatball for having me on their show.
I'm sorry, I forgot to shout that out. You were so good on that show, Rakeem.
Thank you. I was waiting to the end of the show to do it, but I was going to say thank you so much for having me. It was a blast. Also, we talked about a shit ton of stuff, to be honest with you. And we ate some McDonald's apple pies at the end, which were fucking disgusting.
What? Your first mistake was eating at McDonald's.
Well, they have a segment on the show where like
Called
they bring
Snack
food for their
Time.
guests to eat. Yeah. And
That is such a
so
cool
there's like
segment.
random food brought, and that was fucking gross. But
I love I don't know it's early. Okay.
it's okay. So I'll link to the episode in the description if you want to go listen to that.
Link to the apple pies.
Bye. So I want to say thank you for that, and then I also wanted to say thank you to Ethnix and Chief over at I guess I don't know if it's like called Ethnix Media, but it's just ethnix.com. I want to say thank you so much for featuring me in your October issue called The Face Issue, where they talked to different like queer POC about like different areas, and I got interviewed for them for their issue. And I talked about like what beauty means and like Rihanna and like that kind of thing. So I want to say thank you for that. And I'll link to that as well. And then there's a third thing, but I don't know if I should say it yet because it'll come out this week, but it'll come out after the show. So maybe I'll wait till next week.
Say it.
Oh, okay. So I also want to say thank you to pride.com because yeah, so John knows, but John, I, and another friend of mine, we did a story about body image, and pride.com will be featuring that this week because it's Body Positivity Week on their website. So I think they have like 128,000 followers. Like, I'm shook. So it's not out yet, but it will be. I'm actually turning in the project the moment we finish recording this. So that'll be up later this week as well. So I can't link it in the description because it won't be up tomorrow or on Tuesday, but it'll be up later in the week, and you can see it on. We'll put it on social media so you can see it. But so I just want to say thank you for those things. And there's some other shit that I'm working on, but I can't say yet. So.
I guess I'll go. Mine is more about the media that I've been consuming and not so much doing big things and making big moves like some people on the show, whatever, you know.
Stay mad.
But yeah, so I just finished this book by Adam Silvera, and it's called They Both Die at the End. And it's a heartbreaking book. It's about two Latinx teenagers who they live in a world where people get death calls, basically, and at midnight they get a call saying you're gonna die today, and it's becoming a norm in the society for you to get a call on the day that you're gonna die, and so they both get this death call, and so there's like social media around this, and so there's one site, I can't remember the name of it, but there's one site where people document their last moments.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then there's also another thing called Necro, and it's where people who want to have sex for the last time or people who want to have sex with people who are dying. What the fuck? Yeah, it's really... But then there's Last Friend, and they meet on Last Friend, which is where if you don't want to die alone, and you can get a friend on your last day. So they both... And
those people are... Oh my god.
So they meet on Last Friend.
This sounds so fucked and amazing.
So good. And it's so good. Like, it's just so good. And I, like, cried. And I haven't gotten that emotional about a book since I read Marx. So, like, I was just, like, enthralled. Like, it was Saturday night. Friday and Saturday night was me reading. I was, like, fuck going out. My friends were like, oh, do you want to come out? I was like, nah, I'm reading.
Oh, I love when a book does that.
And it was, oh, God, okay. If I stand anymore, I will tell you the entire story. So
I'm about to start standing. Yeah.
But please go ahead and check that book out. It's by Adam Silvera called They Both Die at the End. It's actually not as depressing as you would think it would be. It's very heartbreaking, but it's not as depressing as you would think it would be. And there were some scenes that were just so sad. Okay, let me stop. Anyway. Another show that I'm watching, which is really funny, and I just discovered it, but I guess it's been on for a few years, is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And it's this really funny show, and it's this woman who moves from New York to West Covina because she ran into her ex-boyfriend, and like everybody's obsessed with him. It's also cool because he's Filipino, so like the guy that everybody wants to fuck is like this like jockey Filipino guy. And then there's like a bi character and like a gay character, and like it's not like amazing representation, but it's really funny. And then they
okay,
do like,
scissor pronunciation.
Yes, amazing.
Books not
niggas amazing. Yeah, and it's like a musical too. So like she does all kinds of every musical genre, and she just randomly people in the show will just randomly break into song, and it's funny, and it's just it's funny. There's like
It's
the
on
Getting
Netflix?
Ready song.
It's on Netflix.
Yes, on Netflix. The first 2 seasons are on Netflix, and then the 3rd season just started. It's on NBC or ABC, one of those.
Yeah.
And there's just like the Getting Ready song, and it's just like her talking about like all the shit that she has to do getting ready, and it's like her being sexy, but she's like wearing like a girdle and like. It's funny. You should check it out.
I think it's
I
funny.
love when Baze takes himself out. It's
It's
like
just
the
so
best thing.
because I have really bad memory, so I cannot recite things, but I have it in my head and I remember the image, and so it cracks me up. Anyway, fuck y'all.
No, I was gonna say I think it's funny how it takes place in West Covina because that is so accurate. Like, if anyone is from Southern California and you want to go to like mini Filipino town, like historic Filipino town in LA is not as Filipino as West Covina is. Like, I have cousins who still live there who just moved, who didn't just move. They moved to West Covina from the Philippines like 20 years ago, and they still barely haven't like assimilated. Like, they don't know that much English because you can get by so far in life in West Covina without speaking English or without, just straight up speaking Tagalog. So it's nice.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Renee, do you have anything?
No.
Okay.
The
So
NDA
with that,
is
you guys,
tight.
we're gonna say thanks for listening to this episode of POC. Thank you for sticking with us. And
Wait, okay, just really quickly. Thank you to Project Q and Madden and them. We basically did a raffle for Puerto Rico and obviously Project Q, which provides the haircuts for and thank you for everyone who bought the raffle tickets because
Renee was the raffle ticket boy.
yeah.
oh, I thought you were gonna say like he was the prize, and I was like, that's
No.
okay. Okay. So, oh, that's fine.
I
too.
mean, for a good cause.
Wow. Okay. So again, you can find our Twitter on Trashacolor. Our email is podcastacolor@gmail.com. If you'd like to have a honey roast or anything, send us there. And at this point, anything. Tell
us about your day.
Tell us about your day. Just say hi.
What's your
say
favorite
hi.
thing to order?
Just say.
What do you think about the McDonald's pies?
Just WYD. Like,
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You up? Hey, big head.
You up? Hey, big head.
Lego, my ego.
Oh god.
So yes, you can send us that, and then everything else is at Podcast of Color. And if you want to support the show, it's patreon.com/Podcast of Color. And with that, we will see y'all next week.
Wait. Also, for our Patreon listeners, we will have our review of Attack on Titan up on Patreon this week.
Today.
Oh, today.
It'll be up today. Also, okay. So when we're leaving, can we try to do the air horns in a SZA accent? I don't know how we do.
Ba ba bum ba bum.
Wow, wow, wow. No, I don't know. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
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 POC.